They tried to silence him. They erased his name. But he rebuilt from nothing. He fought every algorithm. They tried again and failed. Now he's back, stronger. From blackout to spotlight, he's at the White House, at the top of his game. Franchi lives.
You are about to enter another dimension, the dimension of truth, unfiltered and uncensored. Welcome to the Raw Feed with Gary Franchi.
Tonight it breaks.
Day 30 of the shutdown. Lines for rations have stretched for blocks. Police presence heavy. Tempers heavier. From the Capitol steps, this is the latest. Welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from the heart of America. Unfiltered truth to millions on YouTube. Hit those donation links below. Every contribution powers our gear. Every contribution keeps the party going. Help me help you. Hit those donation links. YouTube channel memberships. Special acknowledgement in the fellowship. Your super chats keep me standing. Your Rumble rants fuel every round.
Say hello to super chats.
Spread the intel. Every repost extends our reach.
Super chats fuel this spectacle. Your Rumble rants give me strength.
24/7 members only community, behind the scenes discussions.
Connect with fellow patriots.
Share this via text message. Send it to your friends. Text bypasses everything. Just do it. The app is real. Download the Next News Network app. Android user, take the Google Play path. iPhone users, App Store awaits. Breaking news in real time.
They're watching from above, and we're tearing ourselves apart down below. On this day in 1938, Orson Welles terrified America with his War of the Worlds broadcast. Millions believed that Martians had invaded New Jersey. The nation panicked over fiction. Today, October 30th, 2025, we face 4 real invasions. And this time the panic is justified. First, we have the Democrat shutdown hitting day 30. Food banks collapsing, airlines grounding flights, and Chuck Schumer still playing politics while Americans starve. The shelves are bare. The panic has begun. And Democrats have voted 14 times to keep the suffering going. In Chicago, Halloween has morphed into something sinister. Governor Pritzker is begging ICE to take tomorrow night off, while leaked Word documents suggest a citywide spy network ready to track federal agents. Encrypted chats, safe houses, neighborhood watches with whistles. Is this protecting trick-or-treaters or protecting criminals? And Trump, he just shattered 33 years of nuclear silence. For the first time since 1992, America will test its atomic arsenal. 12 B-52 bombers launched in 15 minutes, a thunderous message to Putin and Xi. The era of weakness is over. And something's watching us from space. Harvard scientists say that green object streaking through our solar system isn't natural. It survived temperatures that should have vaporized any comet. It absorbed energy instead of burning up. And NASA's gone completely silent while activating defense protocols they won't acknowledge exist. And just like Orson Welles showed us in 1938, sometimes the most dangerous invasions come when we're already destroying ourselves from within. But unlike that Halloween Eve broadcast, these threats are real. The Democrats are starving America. Chicago's wards appear to be organizing against federal law. Trump's flexing nuclear muscle. Something green and unexplained is passing through our cosmic neighborhood at the worst possible moment. The difference between 1938 and today: back then, Americans united against an imaginary threat. Today, we're divided against real ones. Back then, the panic ended when people realized it was just a radio show. Today, the panic's just beginning because everyone realizes this is actually happening. We're going to talk about the domestic disaster, the South Carolina food banks reporting shelves are bare. People starting to panic. United Airlines CEO lost it on live TV, demanding Schumer pass a clean CR before planes start falling from the sky. Senator Kennedy summing it perfectly. Democrats have accused Trump of everything except abandoning his children to the wolves. They're punishing America for electing him. And then, of course, Chicago's Halloween horror show, DHS Secretary Noem exposing Pritzker's plea to pause immigration enforcement for trick-or-treating. Her response: no, we're going out. But leaked emails paint a darker picture. Spreadsheets of names, encrypted signal groups, and citizens apparently ready to obstruct federal agents. Is Pritzker orchestrating this or just looking the other way while the city organizes against ICE? And of course, the nuclear dimension does change everything. Putin's testing Poseidon doomsday torpedoes designed to create radioactive tsunamis. China racing to catch up, and Trump, he just reminded the world why America leads. Tom Cotton praising the move. We've been handicapped since 1992 while enemies advanced. Well, not anymore. But what should really keep you up at night is that green visitor, 3-Eye Atlas, defying every law of physics. Dr. Avi Loeb from Harvard says it's performing deliberate maneuvers. It dimmed instead of brightening, absorbed energy instead of radiating it. Either we're witnessing the universe's greatest magic trick or something intelligent is taking notes while humanity tears itself apart. 4 stories, 4 crises. One nation on the brink. Democrats sabotaging from within. Chicago's wards possibly obstructing federal law. Trump rebuilding our nuclear shield, and something green watching from above. On this Halloween Eve, remember Orson Welles' lesson. The real monsters aren't always from outer space. Sometimes they're in the governor's mansions, the city wards, the Senate chambers, and yes, maybe even sailing through our solar system disguised as comets. So stay with us for the full breakdown. Because unlike 1938, when you wake up tomorrow, these nightmares will still be real. Let's welcome you to the show tonight. We got Michael and Keith and Cinema and Sovereignty and Lena. Who else is in the house? We got Tamara, John, Mrs. Pothead Kenny. We got Betty, Tyson, Cindy, Mr. Pothead Kenny. Who else is in the house tonight? We got Kim and Tyson, Michael Jones, AJ Cruz. Who else is here tonight? Broken Prophet, I see you. D Nice, Karen Myron, Karen Finley. Who else? Hot Rod Mike is here. Running Bear, Charity, Irish and Bella, Tracy, Katia Angel, Chino, Lynn, Clever, Alice, Johnny Rodriguez in the house. James Sari, Victory in Christ, Amen. The gang is filing in, and so are the super chats. That's how we keep this show going. The goal tonight is $100, and we are well on our way. Noah dropping $1.99 with the simple word, the what? The raw feed. Inbred Outlook dropping $2. Evening, Gary. Hope your day was better than mine. Well, I'm sorry to hear you had a rough day, Inbred, but I hope it gets better because you're watching the raw feed now. You're with family. We got Charity in the house, $1.99, no note necessary, and AJ Cruz dropping $2 as well. Stay strong, Patriots. We are on our way to our goal. We've got just about $8 in the jar tonight. The Alex Jones was right jar. Let's fill this thing up tonight, guys, because it's Halloween Eve, and we got some news to cover. 30 days. That's how long Democrats have held America hostage. Food banks are empty. Airlines are grounding flights. Air traffic controllers work without pay while families dig through bare shelves. This is not incompetence. It's calculated cruelty. 14 times Republicans offered the same clean funding that passed under Biden. 14 times Democrats said no. Chuck Schumer, and I'm talking directly to you, end this madness now. Stop punishing Americans for your political vendetta. Even your own allies are abandoning ship. Union leaders demanding action. CEOs exploding on live TV. In the White House, they're carving pumpkins. What you're about to see will make your blood boil. So keep on watching. As Democrat policies empty our shelves, you do need to be ready. My Patriot Supply has your back with their 3-month emergency food kit. You can save $100 right now. Not freeze-dried mush, folks. We're talking 2,000 calories a day of real breakfast, lunch, dinner, even snacks. While Democrats vote to starve America, you can protect your family with food that lasts 25 years. It's made in the USA, no MSG, sturdy buckets, fast, free shipping. When the government fails you, and they are failing, be your own hero. Go to preparewithgary.com. It's linked below. It'll get you ready while Schumer plays games. That's preparewithgary.com, because Democrats just proved they will let you starve for politics. But over at the White House, the kiddies aren't starving. President Trump greeting the trick-or-treaters. Here's one dressed as a toilet. President Trump handing out, looks like, oh, they got the full-size bars going on over there at the White House. That's where you want to go. I wonder if these kids have to go through a Secret Service checkpoint. I'm sure everybody does. Right? We got this. This is the moment that President Trump arrived with the First Lady, Melania, on site at the White House. We have not seen much of her at the White House these days. I think she's just kind of tired of all the mess. But she's there. Our friend Michael Alfaro, he's at the White House as well. And I was hoping to see some video from him today, but probably got too busy hobnobbing with the president, right, Mike? Here's more President Trump. And a former McDonald's worker himself greets new drive-through employees at the White House. Look at this. Look at this costume. Someone actually brought an entire wagon. It looks like a McDonald's drive-through. Now that's funny. Now, I don't know how you get this stuff through Secret Service, but anyway. Apparently this is a tradition for President Trump. What you're seeing here, there's a banana watch. Okay, so there's someone dressed as Marshmallow, the DJ Donald Trump putting the candy bar on Marshmallow's head. Apparently, he did that a couple years ago. Here's the moment he'd put the candy bar on a minion's head. So despite the government shutdown, these families are getting fed with lots of candy. There's nothing going to stop President Trump from making the kids happy on Halloween. Not even gruesome Schumer. But the White House posting this just a couple hours ago. Airlines, air traffic controllers, and pilots associations call on Democrats to open the government.
Now they're feeling the biggest way to ensure the safety, security, and reliability of our national air traffic control system is to pass a clean, continuing resolution. We are concerned.
A clean, continuing resolution. Vice President J.D. Vance outside the White House today, slamming Senate Democrats for their failure to negotiate to reopen the government for the American people. They're trying to take a hostage, and we can't reward that behavior.
Months. Here is our very simple proposal to the Democrats. Let's sit down and come to a compromise and work it out. You know what the Democrats' response to that is? Give us everything we want, or we're going to shut down the government and keep it shut down. That is not reasonable behavior. That's not how you do compromise in this town. That is the way that the Democrats have operated. They are trying to take a hostage, and we can't reward that behavior. If we do that, if we say, yes, of course, we'll give you everything that you want if you reopen the government, you know what's going to happen? In 3 months, they're going to come back to the administration, and they're again going to say, we're going to shut down the aviation industry. We're going to deny people SNAP benefits unless you give us exactly what you want. That's how a child behaves.
We don't negotiate with terrorists. You see, that you reward the behavior, and it continues. Right? That's the same policy we have with terrorists. You don't give in to their demands because then more people will be terrorized, right? That's the whole deal. It's the same thing with the Democrats.
Is not how a responsible governing party behaves in the United States of America. And let me make one final point, and then we'll cut out of this press conference. Look, I've been a little bit unfair, and I want to correct this, because when I say the Democrats have shut down the government, it's actually the far left side of the Democratic Party, because to their great credit, 3 moderate Democrats joined 52 Senate Republicans to vote to reopen the government. We need 5 more reasonable Democrats to put the American people first and reopen the government. That's all that we're asking. Let's talk about health care policy. Let's make sure that we ensure that Americans' health insurance premiums don't go up. We want that, and we're willing to work with people for it, but they've got to reopen the government first. Sean came from a background not that dissimilar from mine. Sean O'Brien came from a background not that dissimilar from mine. There are moms and dads who are fighting right now because they're worried about not being able to pay the credit card bill and the mortgage bill. There are parents who have to look their kids in the eye and say, you know what, we're not going to do football this year. We're not going to do basketball this year because I can't pay for it because the federal government is shut down and I'm not getting a paycheck. Do we want those people who keep the aviation system running to not be able to feed their families, to not be able to pay for some of the things that make life worth living? The answer to that question is absolutely. We want them to be able to afford a good life. The only way for that to happen is to reopen the government. It'll be good for those who fly. It'll be good for those who work in the aviation industry. It'll be good for the whole country. Just do the common sense thing, Democrats. Reopen the government. We need 5 Senate Democrats to join us. I hope that they will. Thank you, guys.
Will those 5 Senate Democrats cross the aisle and cross Chuck Schumer? Or will we see the EBT breakdown that is planned for November 3rd? This woman says she would rather loot your house, your Frigidaire, and your pantry.
How darn lovely. But I'd rather it be your house, your Frigidaire, and your pantry.
What's a yo Frigidaire? Okay, yo Refrigidaire. That's what it's called, apparently. Here's another woman. Says she's not above pimp slapping and hoe dragging.
No, exactly. It's day 30 of the shutdown. I'm not above pimp slapping and hoe dragging. I don't know exactly what I have to do or need to do, but we definitely gonna figure out something. Siri, how exactly do I fill out a Magic City application? It's day 30 of the shutdown.
Wow. They're going to raid your fridge, pimp slap your wife. People are starting to panic. The shelves are bare. South Carolina food banks brace for chaos as the Democrats shut down dries up SNAP funding. 6 hours ago, local NBC.
Impact. With SNAP benefits ending on Saturday, November 1st, a lot of their shelves have gone bare.
Shelves are bare and trying to restock as often and as quickly as we can.
The upcoming lapse in benefits will have a twofold impact, creating more demand for food.
People are starting to panic. There are people that, they're only bringing in $1,000 a month and they still have kids and they really don't know how they're going to make ends meet.
It's also driving more people to food banks.
Ramen noodles. Stressed, but I feel a lot better because I have all these people that trying to help me. They've helped me out a lot.
Food bank volunteers are working in overdrive, meeting more demand with less supply.
They are activating the One South Carolina Fund, which we are anticipating being able to utilize, but that's not going to be the dollar amount that supplements SNAP.
While Harvest Hope is prepared, they can only do so much if the shutdown stretches on.
We're going to see. We've never had this happen before. There's never been a moment where this many people don't have access to food.
Never been a moment like this. And this just in from our friend Michael at the White House.
Hey, Gary Franchi, Next News Network. Michael Farrell here. Hey, Gary Franchi, Next News Network. Michael Farrell here. We're going live with this little chick. His name is Ajin, and it's our first Halloween celebration at the White House with the Next News Network. Thank you for covering our features and our coverage in Cambodia and Thailand, the border conflict, and all the others around the world that we've been reporting from Next News Network. And as you know, President Trump, you're our President Trump's favorite YouTuber. You know it's true. All right. I'll see y'all later. See you back in studio.
All right. Michael Alfaro heard the call and sent that in right away. God bless you, Michael. God bless you. Continuing right along with the action, or I should say inaction of government. Democrats have accused President Trump of everything except abandoning his children to the wolves. Senator John Kennedy, one of the most colorful senators in Washington, D.C.
Everything the Democrats have, they have accused the President Trump of everything except abandoning his children to wolves. They daily call him a racist and a Nazi. The Democrats are angry. They're angry for two reasons. They're angry because President Trump won the election. The American people spoke. My Democratic colleagues need to just drink a big old glass of get over it and let's move on. They're mad, number two, they're mad that the American people are mad about the shutdown. It was so needless. The Democrats.
It is needless. But of course, Chuck Schumer thinks it's leverage. Here is a Teamster outside the White House. Unions turning against the Democrat Party.
3 weeks. Look, the bottom line, and we took a position, I represent 1.3 million working men and women in this country for the International Brotherhood of Teamsters. We took a position 3 weeks ago. Pass a clean CR, get to the table, negotiate a deal. Do not put working people in the middle of a problem they should not be in there. And we got to think about the families that are going to be affected. Think about when you have to tell your son or daughter they can't play sports because you're not getting paid. Think about when you can't pay your mortgage. Think about when you can't pay your tuition. Put the politics aside, get to the table, negotiate a deal, pass a clean CR right now, and then figure out the problems moving forward. And I want to thank the air traffic controllers. I want to thank the aviation administration for all their hard work and sacrifice.
Teamsters sending a message But here is the CEO of United Airlines going off on Chuck Schumer and the Democrats for shuttering the government and refusing to pay air traffic controllers. It's getting worse and worse for Chuck, the CEO of United Airlines now.
Traffic controls, really thanking the professionals, the air traffic controllers, the folks at the TSA, also the FAA, the people in management. They're working hard. They are keeping the skies safe. They've minimized delays. Fewer than 2% of flights have been delayed so far because of the air traffic control shortage. So they've done a great job. But it's putting stress on people. It's not fair to those people. It's also putting stress on the economy. You know, the first couple of weeks this had no impact on the economy, but as every day goes by, the impacts start to grow. And airlines are a pretty good real-time indicator of the economy, and we start to see, still minor, but steep booking impact, and you see that happening in the economy. We put the whole economy at risk. And so it's been 30 days, and while I don't have a position on which partisan side and how things should be settled with healthcare, it has been 30 days. I also think it is time to pass a clean CR, use that as the opportunity to get into a room behind closed doors and negotiate hard on the real and substantive issues that the American people want our politicians on both sides of the aisle to solve. But let's get a clean CR and get that negotiation done behind closed doors without the pressure and without putting the American workers and the American economy at risk.
The CEO of United Airlines, man. I hope Chuck Schumer's listening. Here we have more. This TDS. Here is TDS has completely melted Cory Booker's brain. Appearing on CNN, they ask him about the consistent no vote. And, of course, he defaults to his programming.
Pain.
Democrats have been consistently voting no on just keeping the government running, opening the government. Are there some Democrats, do you, sir, because you voted no, bear some responsibility for endangering people's food aid?
Wait for it.
Well, you know, Donald Trump has said very bluntly that I'm going to cause maximum pain.
Democrats have been consistently voting no on just keeping the government.
But Donald Trump. Representative Vern Buchanan, House GOP passed a clean CR, same kind of funding resolution both parties passed 13 times under Biden. Democrats holding America hostage.
Maybe the expense.
And what about your office right now? What are you hearing, and are you getting pushback from both sides on the shutdown?
Yeah, I think a lot of people just don't understand the CR. I voted for, supported that. All Republicans did, with maybe the exception of one. All the senators have supported it. I don't understand why they just don't do it like we've done for the last 4 or 5 years, where you have, basically we pass the CR and we get to work, and we deal in good faith, and there's about 5 or 6 weeks where we've got a chance to get something done in terms of budgeting.
And what about your office right now?
People are voting for the clean CR, but we only need 5 Democrats to flip. Who will they be? Here is a post from the White House. 6 hours ago, Democrats are giving treats to illegal aliens while the American people endure the horrors. 30 days of the Democrat shutdown. Speaker Johnson says that Leader John Thune went berserk on the Senate floor at Democrats because he's 100% fed up with their BS. Listen.
I can empathize. Pretty upset yesterday. We've all seen the video. Mad John on the floor, and it's appropriate. When we come in here and do these briefings, I can empathize with them because we're happy warriors. I like to come in and have a good time in press conferences and tell you good news and all of that. But this feels very much like in my state, Louisiana is a hurricane state. It's like giving a briefing during a hurricane, a Cat 5 hurricane, right before it hits shores. We put the sandbags around our homes and we board up the windows and we do everything we can to prepare, but we know the real pain is about to hit. And we feel helpless in doing anything about it. And that's the same emotion and that we feel here at the podium and when we're on the floor. And Leader Thune let them have it yesterday because they were trying to play games, and we're just fed up with it. He's a very even-tempered, calm guy. I mean, I try to maintain the same demeanor, but it's infuriating to us. I'm not going to second-guess his decisions on when they schedule the votes each time, but he's probably about had it with their nonsense. And when they tell him and they thumb their nose at him and give him, and say other things that they like to drop the F-bomb now for fun, for emphasis apparently. When they tell him those things, he probably recognizes it's a futile effort. He realizes they're dug in, and they don't care. They're more afraid of the Marxist, socialist, far left in the party than they are the harm that they're going to cause in the American people. That's a fact. And you
I think they're also more afraid of the health insurance companies not padding their campaign coffers by demanding the health insurance provisions in these bills get stuffed into the CR. Here's Caitlin Collins actually playing a clip of Hakeem Jeffries from 2013 blasting a government shutdown, declaring it unnecessarily hurts Americans. This is on CNN. Wow, CNN.
House GOP. We're in the midst of a government shutdown right now that is unnecessarily forcing pain on the American people. It's a shutdown that was manufactured by the House GOP that has resulted in a situation where Americans all across this country have now been put in jeopardy. That's a tragedy of epic proportions.
I wonder what Hakeem Jeffries of today would say to the Hakeem Jeffries of 2013 who read that message.
Caitlin Collins coming in with the receipts from 2013 and dropping them right on Hakeem Jeffries' face. Oh, boy. How's he going to respond to this? Look at the smirk. Look at the smirk on his face. Man.
In terms of wanting to pass a clean CR so Congress could get back to work.
Well, the Hakeem Jeffries of today definitively agrees with the Hakeem Jeffries of yesterday from the standpoint of, listen, we've said to Republicans, get to the negotiating table. We want to find a bipartisan path forward. We want to reopen the government. We are standing by hardworking federal employees, but we need a partner in that effort. But we don't have a partner. Literally, Donald Trump over the last 20
Donald Trump. Here's Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent dropping a truth nuke on the Democrats.
My theory of the case here is since President Trump came into office, as you know, the Democrats have been trying to stop him. They run to the circuit courts, and then the circuit courts get overruled by the Supreme Courts. They go to the media, and the media is not able to stop him. So what did they? Great economic momentum, bringing our country back from the 4 years of the Biden disaster. They're going to shut down the government, and it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. They're making things worse in an effort to stop the momentum that this administration has, and it's inconceivable to me.
Inconceivable. Not just to you, sir,
done to try to stop.
but every American watching right now. Here's the GOP majority whip on the Schumer shutdown.
Partisan majority. Unfortunately, these are not great circumstances. You talk about majorities, bipartisan majorities. Keep in mind, we passed this spending bill out of the House on September 19th, Charlie, well in advance of the September 30th deadline. There was only one Democrat that joined with the Republicans in the House to pass it over to the Senate. Now, it gets to the Senate. And you've got a rule, the filibuster rule. They need 60 votes. We only need a simple majority in the House. They need 60 votes to get something to the floor. And Chuck Schumer has refused to provide the votes necessary to get this to the floor. And as a result, the government's been shut down for 30 days now. And I would argue to the people watching that most people haven't noticed. Your report from LaGuardia this morning is an example. Most people haven't noticed up till this week. Thanks to Donald Trump finding a way to pay our troops last month, that pain was delayed. But starting this week, the American Federation of Government Employees, the largest government employee union in the country, 820,000 members, sent a letter and said, get this done. Open the government up so you can get back to negotiating. Guess what? Tuesday, air traffic controllers did not get a paycheck. And you just outlined for the viewers all the bad things that are going to happen. This is starting to become very real. They are playing.
And of course, it's going to get very real when we see Walmart's on fire on November 3rd. We've been covering it here for days now. The threats. We've shown you some just tonight. about what is on the horizon. Of course, I've said before, I believe that they want that to happen. They want the chaos in the streets. They want the scenes of people running out of Walmart with shopping carts and customers getting beat down because Trump, because Orange Man bad. We're going to find out soon enough, though. It's all coming to a head. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Now, this is not governance, it's revenge. Democrats are punishing you for electing Trump. They'd rather watch Americans starve than pass the same clean bill they approved 13 times under Sleepy Joe. Think about that. Your kids go hungry because Schumer's still bitter about November. Airlines warn of disasters. Food banks turning families away, and Democrats vote no again and again. You see, they've weaponized hunger against their own people. So here's the question for the comment section. Should any politician who votes to continue this shutdown be charged with dereliction of duty? Yes or no, sound off below, because while they feast in D.C., you're fighting for scraps. This is America in 2025, where Democrats choose politics over people and power over patriotism. Let's grab some next news gear from our shop and show them we won't be silenced, because the revolution starts with remembering who did this to you. Chuck Schumer is a garbage human. Wow, you guys came in hot. You guys came in hot with the super chats already. Wow. So we got a new member, Kathy. And then John Gardner drops $20. Roll out martial law, clean it up, arrest these clowns, he says. Arcadia Angel dropping $50. My goodness, thank you. No comment necessary, she writes. Or doesn't write. $50. God bless you. Thank you, Arcadia Angel. And then we've got some new members from Amy, Inbred Outlook, also gifting a membership to Southern Gal. So now we're at $77.98. We only need about $22, and we're at our goal. And we're only in the first topic of the evening. Let's move on to our second, because lots happening on the Chicago front. Late last night, I got a message from somebody, and that message was very interesting. So we decided to make a thread, post it to X. And now I'm going to break it down for you. Trick or treason? Tomorrow's Halloween in Chicago just turned into a nightmare of suspected treason. While Governor Pritzker begs ICE to take Halloween off, leaked ward emails suggest a coordinated spy network of sabotage of federal operations. We've got the receipts, encrypted chats, safe house maps, crossing guards with whistles ready to track agents tomorrow. Is this protecting trick-or-treaters or organized obstruction? You know, 2 Americans are already dead from illegals in Illinois, yet Pritzker wants ICE to stand down for candy night. Governor, here's my message. Stop protecting criminals. Start protecting citizens. And save some candy for the kids. DHS Secretary Noem already said hell no, but the operation continues tomorrow. And if the shadow network connects to city officials, everyone involved better lawyer up. And what you're about to learn will shock you. And while Chicago wards allegedly protect criminals, I'm protecting my family's health with C60 Evo. This Nobel Prize-winning molecule made lab animals live 90% longer. Now I know why. My brain fog vanished. Joint pain I've had for years disappeared. My wife looks 10 years younger. This is not another supplement scam. It's 172 times stronger than vitamin C, working at the cellular level where aging actually happens. The scientist behind it, Chris Burris, he's been perfecting this in his Houston lab since 1991. The Paris study showed the longest life extension ever recorded. Now my family is living proof. Visit c60evo.com/NNN and make sure you use code NNN for exclusive savings for our viewers. Because while Chicago plays dangerous games, you can add decades to your life. That website again, c60evo.com/NNN. Transform your health today. So is it trick or is it treason?
Or treat. Trick. Or treat.
Yeah, so I made that with Sora late last night. A couple of ICE agents with some sloppy costumes on in a Chicago neighborhood getting ready to take on the illegals there. But the neighborhood is already on watch. Leaked emails are in. We've got the receipts. Wait till you hear this stuff. Leaked Chicago 48th Ward email, an internal message circulating before Halloween, appears to organize neighborhood volunteers to watch for ICE activity. Was this a city-linked effort to shadow federal officers? We've got all the details. So it starts out quietly. This is the opening of the email. Because of ongoing ICE activity in our city, we're taking extra precautions. The 48th Ward email warns neighbors to be prepared and coordinated just in case. Now, why would a Halloween note talk about tracking federal enforcement? That's a big question. Then comes the Signal chat. Now, you want to join it? There's the link. Residents are told install it, join the Halloween group, post time and location if ICE appears. The LBRC is connected with the 48th Ward and local rapid response groups. A private encrypted channel, though, will disappear after Halloween. This is that part of the message. To spread important safety information across neighborhoods on Halloween, please join the Halloween Signal group. The idea is if someone sees ICE activity, they will post a time and location. Next up, watch volunteers shifts from 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Observe and report ICE activity. 1 hour posts at neighborhood entry points. Training set for October 29th and 30th. The tone is not candy, it's coordination. A watch schedule on a kid's holiday. Really. Here's that part. Watch volunteers. We're recruiting volunteers to staff entry points to the neighborhood to observe and report ICE activity. Man, these people have no lives. Then you have safe havens being set up. Private homes told to deny ICE entry, print a yellow ICE-free home sign, plus a city-branded Protecting Chicago notice. A map of the havens shared through Signal. Trick-or-treaters meet policy activism on the front porch. And then the crossing guards. The 48th Ward organizing volunteers with whistles directly connected to the ward to report suspected ICE activity. Signed off by LBRC leadership. Halloween safety or something else entirely. And then here is the spreadsheet as it was captured by yours truly 18 hours ago. I think we can actually look at it as it stands right now. Let me see if I can pop this open for you. If the link will load. Here it is. This is the current look at the ICE ICE Watch assignments. Looks like Leah and Alex and Larry and Mark and Nan, Cecilia and Libby. They're going to be holding it down. Bryn Mawr and Broadway. Cecilia and Libby. Berwyn and Broadway. Larry and Mark and Nan. They've already got the times mapped out. First person name. First name or alias. Have you completed your training? Person 2. First name or alias. Have you completed your training? Take the training if you can. Look, you can see all the names. Middle priority intersections. Next priority intersections. The alley. Looks like nobody wants to hang out in the alley. But Liz and Grant, though, they're going to be down at the intersection of Wayne and Balmoral. They'll be hanging out there from 4:30 to 7:30. They're going to hold it down. And they've already completed training, guys. So that's a quick look at the live spreadsheet that they are planning to potentially obstruct federal operations in Chicago. And I'm actually quite surprised that the link is still active after we made the post. Who knows after this broadcast? One attachment here. This is the ice-free home safe haven. This is what they're asking people to put up in their houses. This is an ice-free home. It tells residents they can refuse entry to federal officers. The question, though, does City Hall condone distributing legal directives about ICE enforcement? And here's another flyer. Protecting Chicago partner lists approved allies and hotlines if any were produced with city branding. That's a transparency issue begging for an audit, especially when ICE operations are involved. So this is another, look at that. You got the City of Chicago logo right there. Chicago.gov protect. So it looks like they are using official Chicago documentation. So what's really happening? In Chicago's 48th Ward, a Halloween email, encrypted chats, safe haven maps, and spreadsheet built around ICE activity. Every line raises new questions. So share this thread and follow Next News Network for the truth that they hide. And here it was the link to the public training webinar that was making rounds. We did attend that webinar this afternoon. And of course, the typical language presented, calling ICE kidnappers, abducting people, disappearing people, racist, the typical inflammatory language that is used when referring to ICE agents. It was largely activist organizing based. But of course, we know how these things morph from activism to violence, and it happens far too often. And when ICE goes into these neighborhoods and they take somebody who is here illegally, the residents flood the zone, and then they get thrown down. The violence occurs. People get arrested. I mean, that's what these types of activities lead to. Trick or treason? That is the question. And J.B. Pritzker, what is he saying? He's saying, where is Pritzker? Wants to pause ICE raids. This is Mark Vargas 10 hours ago, Illinois Review. Wants to pause ICE raids in Chicago so illegal aliens can enjoy Halloween in peace. Only in Pritzker's Illinois do lawbreakers get holiday breaks and taxpayers get the bill. And Secretary Noem calling out Governor Pritzker and Mayor Johnson for inciting violence against ICE officers. This was just 6 hours ago. She's calling out the two Democrat leaders in Illinois.
Against ICE. And in doing so, it seems that ICE agents, CBP agents are increasingly under threat. We saw the violence in Dallas and elsewhere. And now we get a statistic from DHS that death threats against ICE operatives are up 8,000%. And listen to what the Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson said about your commander there in Chicago, Gregory Bovino. Listen here.
Bovino is a barbaric individual.
He did call me that word barbaric, and that is what we're talking about with the heated rhetoric that causes violence against law enforcement officers. What about the legal, ethical, and moral duties that we conduct every day on the streets of Chicago to make his city safer? Is that barbaric?
When you've got things like the Chicago mayor calling your commander there barbaric, when you've got J.B. Pritzker referring to ICE as, quote, Noem's thugs, are you surprised to see violence and death threats going up against these agents?
No, I'm not. These leaders are perpetuating that violence. They're encouraging it. They're pushing people to violence by the way that they talk. Greg Bovino is a patriot. He's a great American. He took an oath to uphold the law, and he does it every single day. And I'm so thankful for the way that he inspires people. He inspires thousands of other law enforcement officers to go out and to do their jobs and to do it boldly and to know that they've got a constitution and they've got a president that will have their backs if they make sure that they're bringing criminals to justice. So by what Mayor Johnson's doing, by what Governor Pritzker is doing, it's endangering lives, and they need to stop. They need to stop because there's consequences to it. Their words have consequences, and we're seeing that. An 8,000% increase in death threats against law enforcement. That's horrific. That shouldn't be happening in America. That shouldn't happen anywhere in the world, and I blame them. I place the blame squarely on their shoulders.
8,000% increase. Do you think Pritzker is going to be running for president? Of course he is. Of course he is. J.B. Pritzker's 11 hours ago, there's an update here. Governor J.B. Pritzker's resignation is being demanded after he harbored 2 illegal aliens who killed 2 Americans in the state of Illinois. Pritzker's got a lot of blood on his hands, and he doesn't care. A national disgrace and derelict in his duty. This is WCIA.
Now, an immigration. Pacheco Meza is now looking at charges of driving without a license and not slowing down to avoid an accident. But there's more to this story. Earlier, a large crowd gathered in the Coles County Courthouse to mourn the deaths of Mike and Gail Clayton.
May God bless the Clayton family during this trying time. Thank you.
An emotional moment for Coles County Board Chairman Darrell Cox as community members mourn the deaths of board member Mike Clayton and his wife Gail. They were hit by another car in Westfield Friday and pronounced dead at the scene.
But I've been silent for too long. Mike and Gail Clayton were killed by a driver that was in this country illegally.
Originally, Illinois State Police told WCIA3 the suspect was from Indiana. Now, an Immigration and Customs Enforcement spokesperson says in a statement, quote, ICE launched an immigration detainer on Edwin Pacheco Meza, 34, an illegal alien from Honduras, after he was arrested in Illinois. And Cox is being vocal about his concerns.
I'm calling on our governor and his legislature to reverse course and repeal the Trust Act.
It's an act Coles County Sheriff Kent Martin says sidelines law enforcement during immigration matters.
If someone is here illegally but hasn't been charged criminally in the federal court, we can't even notify someone that they're in custody.
Other board members made similar calls to action, and Cox went on to say the Claytons died because of, quote, broken immigration policies. WCIA3 reached out to the governor's office to comment on the matter. We have not heard back. All this as the county remembers a couple that impacted. Pacheco Meza is now looking.
Unbelievable. Illegal. Killing 2 people. So this is only the beginning of the terror that's going to continue through Chicago because of these policies. Tomorrow, Halloween, people will be out in force, tracking ICE agents, reporting their activities. But that's not going to stop ICE. Now we're learning that the Pentagon, this is 24 hours ago, has ordered the National Guard to create quick reaction forces in every state and territory by January that are trained and equipped to respond to riots and civil unrest within the United States. What do they know? The only reason they would do this is because they know it's going to get worse. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is what suspected treason looks like in 2025. A governor begging federal agents to stop enforcement while his city's wards apparently coordinate obstruction. Whether Pritzker knew about these leaked documents or not, tomorrow's Halloween has become a criminal protection operation while American blood stains Illinois. Those spreadsheets, signal chats, safe house maps, if they connect to official channels, that's called a conspiracy. Every name on those lists, every chat participant, every designated safe house, you may be accessories to federal obstruction. So the big question for the chat, is Pritzker directly involved or just conveniently looking away? Should he be investigated for interference with federal immigration enforcement? Let's have a conversation in the comments, because if we can't enforce our borders on Halloween, when can we? This transcends politics. It's about the rule of law. So hit up our merch shop and show where you stand. The truth is here. Oh yeah, Chicago, man. Tomorrow is going to be wild. It's going to get crazier, though, when those EBT cards get shut down. And what do I see here? Did this just happen? Irish drops a 5-spot. Trump needs to point the finger at them and say, you're fired. Stephen Mills dropping $50. Good Lord. Thank you, Stephen. No comment. Amy D. Thompson Bernard dropping $2. Thank you, Amy. We are closing out this month strong, and you guys are helping us get there. Janie, just a moment ago, dropping $4.99, 35 seconds ago to be exact. Hey, Gary, still waiting on the meme of Pritzker as the Hamburglar. Oh, yeah, oh. Okay, let me see. Okay, fine. I'll see if I can make something up real quick, okay? All right, I owe you one. I owe you one for that, so let me see if I can make one. Let's see. Okay, of J.B. Pritzker in his McDonald's Hamburglar costume running from ICE agents. Okay. Let's see what it comes up with here. All right, we're going to wait and see how this sometimes it takes a little while, but we'll find out. But did you hear what President Trump just did, man? The nukes are back, baby. We're going to be getting to that in just a second. What I'm going to do, sometimes because if I make these on my phone here and the phone goes quiet, then I lose the app. So I want to make sure we don't. Okay, so it's getting started. If it's worth it, so Janie, I'll share this a little bit later if we can. Or maybe I'll try again. But anyway, let's get to our next topic. Because nukes be flying again, baby. America's back, going nuclear. All right, Brian, let's hit it. The nuclear genie is out of the bottle, and Donald Trump is holding the lamp. For the first time since 1992, America will test its atomic arsenal. 12 B-52 bombers launched in 15 minutes, painting the sky with American power. While Putin brags about radioactive tsunami weapons and Z races to catch up, Trump just flipped the script. This isn't random timing, it's calculated dominance right before meeting China's leader. For 33 years, we played nice while enemies built doomsday devices. Mr. President, I'm with you. It's time the world remembers why nobody messes with America. Pentagon's orders are clear. The message is clear. What happens next will reshape global power forever. And speaking of power, let me tell you about the healing power that's transformed my life. Dr. Jonathan Otto introduced me to red light therapy. Everything changed. My wife's chronic pain from her diagnosis gone. My energy and recovery better than guys half my age. This is the same technology in medical journals showing 300% faster healing, instant pain relief, and even brain regeneration. NASA researched it, FDA cleared it, clinics charge thousands, but Jonathan's panels bring it right to your home. 9 specific wavelengths, hospital-grade components, 0 EMF exposure. Visit myredlight.com and use code NNN for exclusive savings. Make sure you check out their payment options. Very important. So while Trump shows nuclear strength abroad, you can harness healing power at home. myredlight.com, code NNN. Your body will thank you. So this was President Trump on Air Force One on why he posted about renewed nuclear testing right before the Z meeting. It was a big post on Truth Social that the president made, and now he's reacting.
Why did you write your Truth Social about nuclear testing? What about resuming nuclear testing? What prompted you to do that right before the meeting?
It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing.
Russia?
We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. We've halted it many years ago. But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
Did
Details around that testing, sir? Like where, when?
It'll be announced. You know, we have test sites. It'll be announced.
Why did you write your Truth Social about nuclear testing? What about?
We have test sites ready to go. This morning, 12 B-52H Stratofortress bombers blasted off Dea's AFB in a minimum interval takeoff drill for Global Thunder 26. All 12 airborne in just 15 minutes. That's 12 nuclear-capable giants roaring into the sky, ready to rain hell anywhere on Earth. America doesn't flex often, but when she does, the world watches. The B-52, baby. The Stratofortress. When you look up and you see those flying overhead, you better run for cover. Here's more from the president. They seem to be nuclear testing.
It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing.
Russia?
We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. You know, we've halted it many years ago.
But we're going to start again. Abby Phillip, Red Wave Press, reports, is Trump trying to put a nuclear threat on the table to push Xi into negotiations? Is that really the right strategy here? This is over on CNN.
On the nuclear piece of it, is Trump trying to put a threat on the table to push Xi into negotiations? And is this really the kind of ground that we ought to be fighting on? I mean, our nuclear arsenal that could, decimate the entire globe. Is that really the right strategy here?
Well, I think it's farcical to suggest that China has the upper hand. Trump is going into this meeting with two, brand new inked trade deals with South Korea and Japan. These are incredible deals that have within them hundreds of billions of dollars committed to manufacturing here in the United States, an opening of the Japanese market to our cars and our products for the first time in history. So he's going into this meeting knowing that he has made these amazing trade deals on behalf of the American people, and that is what the Chinese are going to be noticing. Now, I wouldn't expect a huge thing to come out of this. I think that both sides want something very limited in the framework they're looking for. Trump wants the soybeans back in the Chinese market, and he also wants the fentanyl to stop coming out of China. He cares deeply about the overdose crisis in America. The Chinese want tariff relief, and I think what we're going to see is...
Let me just... On the nuclear piece of it...
President Trump ends a 33-year pause, orders immediate nuclear testing over Russia and Chinese moves. India today...
of nuclear weapons. But on the other hand, Trump also had a hand to play. He wanted to play the nuclear race card. President Trump ordered the U.S. military to immediately start the testing of nuclear weapons on an equal basis with China and Russia. The order was given minutes before the historic and amazing meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping in South Korea. It's also a major shift in U.S. policy at a time when tensions are brewing among the nuclear-armed superpowers. Now, in a post on Truth Social, Trump said, and I quote, "The United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. Russia is second, and China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis."
Had to do with others. They seem to all be
on an equal basis, leveling the playing field. Russia testing nuclear-powered Burevestnik missile amid the Ukraine war and the Trump peace talks. The Russian president, 24 hours ago, announced that Russia successfully tested their Poseidon nuclear-capable doomsday torpedo, capable of triggering radioactive tsunamis, rendering coastal cities uninhabitable. So here is a graphic, a nuclear torpedo detonating and creating a massive radioactive tsunami. Lovely. 8 hours ago, Tom Cotton says Russia and China have conducted supercritical nuclear weapons tests to advance their nuclear programs. The U.S. has been bound to a zero-yield test standard since '92. It's welcome news that President Trump is allowing us to conduct activities on par with Russia and China to advance and modernize the U.S. nuclear stockpile. Of course, everyone's going to freak out about this.
Test. Admiral Creel, welcome and congratulations on your nomination, and thank you and your wife for your decades of service to our nation. I thought nuclear testing might be a hot topic of discussion this morning. I'll put aside the obvious benefits of such testing to ensure the stockpile is fully prepared and ready for any contingency. But in general, tests of all kinds, whether nuclear or conventional, don't just provide those benefits, but also can send a strong message of resolve and deterrence. We saw the exact opposite effect at times during the last administration when President Biden canceled routine tests of our Minuteman III missiles to avoid supposedly escalating tensions with China or Russia. Could you speak to me in your best military advice about the impact of a successful weapons test, whether nuclear or conventional, on our adversaries and maintaining that regular testing schedule?
That regular testing schedule, thank you for the question, Senator. If confirmed, the STRATCOM commander is responsible for the requirements associated with accuracy and effectiveness of the weapons. And that then drives the services and other subject matter experts' analysis of the testing required to meet those objectives. So I agree fully with you. It is a really, really important aspect of demonstrating the reliability and credibility of our nuclear deterrent, and that's an essential attribute for deterrence versus particularly in this era.
Thank you. Critics of our nuclear arsenal often claim that it costs too much and we never use them. I like to rejoin that we use our nuclear weapons every single day, and we have for 80 years. Although we have not detonated a nuclear weapon in combat for 80 years, the very existence of them and at their high state of readiness every single day for 80 years has deterred the kind of major conflict we saw twice in less than 20 years in the 20th century. Do you agree with me, Admiral, on the absolute necessity of both maintaining and modernizing our arsenal to preserve this deterrent effect?
I agree, Senator.
Thank you. Do you also agree with me, given this remarkable run of 80 years without a general global war, after having two of them in 20 years, that we don't actually spend all that much money on our nuclear forces?
I agree with you, Senator, and I would echo and foot stomp your point with respect to our nation's deterrent gets exercised every single day, and the credibility associated with that prevents war.
And I think I'm right, just ballparking it, that we spend about 5% of our total military budget all in on our nuclear arsenal, maybe a little more at the height of modernization, maybe a little less outside of it. Is that a fair estimate?
That's a fair estimate, Senator.
Do you think 5% plus or minus a little bit is a reasonable expenditure to avoid?
Deterrence, that's what it comes down to, folks. Here is Vladimir Putin announcing the successful test of the Poseidon nuclear-powered underwater drone. Its capabilities significantly surpass the Sarmat missile. The Sarmat missile is one of the most devastating weapons.
And just yesterday, there was another test of a future weapons system, and that's an unmanned submarine, Poseidon unmanned submarine.
President Trump have instructed Pentagon to immediately begin nuclear tests. Only President Trump would have the balls to fly a B-2 bomber over Putin's head and announcing testing of our nuclear weapons right before the meeting was the big flexes happening. Remember that moment when Trump met with Putin? That was epic. Look up, bitch. Gotcha, bitch. And Putin peed a little bit in that moment. This is the official post the President of the United States put out. The United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second, China distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because of other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. The process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is American strength unleashed. While Biden let Russia and China test weapons unchecked, Trump just reminded them who owns the sky. 33 years of nuclear silence broken with one tweet. Putin thought his Poseidon torpedoes would intimidate us. Xi thought he'd catch up while we slept. Well, they thought wrong. Trump's not starting an arms race. He's only ending one by winning it. The timing says everything. Right before that meeting was Xi. 12 nuclear bombers thundering into formation. That's not diplomacy through weakness. That's negotiation through strength. So here's my question for the comment section. Do you support Trump restarting nuclear testing to match Russia and China? Yes or no? Because peace does come from power, not from bowing. And this president understands what his predecessor forgot. You can't protect America by apologizing for it. If you want to support our work here, check out our merch shop and show that you stand with American strength because the world's watching and Trump is leading. There will probably never, ever be another president like Donald J. Trump. Ever again. And speaking of never again, you guys wanted to see it. Well, here it is. Robble Robble made it just for you, Janie. There he is. There's Pritzker as the Hamburglar running from ICE agents. And I have one more here. Another variation for you. There, hey, he's running. He's running. Okay, there you go. You got it, all right? There you go. Janie, I owe that to you. Thanks for reminding me. All right, we're going to go from nuclear weapons to something far more crazy. This is all happening right now. A global alert. A global alert. What is this thing? Okay. Okay. Something's watching us from space, and it's not playing by the rules. This green object called 3I Atlas just survived temperatures that should have vaporized any comet. Harvard's top astrophysicist says it's performing deliberate maneuvers. It dimmed instead of brightening, absorbed energy instead of burning up. NASA's gone silent while secretly activating Earth defense systems. Dr. Michio Kaku calls it an intelligent visitor. Now, look, I'm skeptical of alien claims, but when multiple scientists can't explain what they're seeing, we do need some answers. The timing is suspicious. Nuclear tests resuming, global chaos erupting, and then this thing shows up glowing green over Moscow starting tonight? Natural phenomena or something else? What I'm about to reveal will make you question everything. And while we watch the skies tonight, I'm extending life here on Earth with C60 Evo. This Nobel Prize-winning molecule made lab animals live 90% longer. My brain fog disappeared. Years of joint pain vanished. My wife's skin looks a decade younger. I feel 20 years younger myself. Now, this is not just another antioxidant. It's 172 times more powerful than vitamin C, working where aging actually happens. I'm talking about at the cellular level. Now, the scientist behind it, Chris Burres, he has perfected this in his Houston lab since 1991. The Paris study showed unprecedented life extension, and my family is the living proof. Visit c60evo.com/NNN and make sure you use code NNN for exclusive savings. Whether alien visitors come in peace or not, you'll have decades more life to figure it out. c60evo.com/NNN. Transform your health today. So, this has got a lot of people asking questions. Harvard's Avi Loeb breaking down what makes 3I Atlas different from any comet that we've seen. Size, speed, trajectory, it does not fit the mold.
And that's they were saying that this object is nothing but a comet and it's very normal. People were dismissing your concerns.
This object is the size of Manhattan Island. It's at 4.5 times the Earth-Sun separation. The trajectory is aligned with the plane of the planets around the Sun to within 5 degrees relative to Earth when it's closest to the Sun. And that's the time when a spacecraft could do a maneuver to take advantage of the Sun's gravitational assist. These are interesting indications that may imply that some intelligence designed the trajectories.
Is the government lying? NASA is actually responding to Kim Kardashian. She asked, wait, what's the T on 3I Atlas? Even Kim Kardashian weighing in. She was responding to Kim Kardashian. Yes, we've been to the moon 6 times. And even better, NASA Artemis is going back under the leadership of POTUS. We won the last space race, and we will win this one too. And she's like, well, what's the T on 3I Atlas? Well, they said here, the NASA acting administrator, Sean Duffy, NASA's observations show that this is the 3rd interstellar comet to pass through our solar system. No aliens, he says. No threat to life here on Earth. 3, meaning the 3rd, that's where it gets its name. I, interstellar, meaning from beyond our solar system. And Atlas discovered by our asteroid terrestrial impact last alert system. Discovered by our last alert system. Lovely. He writes, we love your excitement about our Artemis mission to the moon. You're officially invited to launch at Kennedy Space Center. Oh, so Kim Kardashian is getting a personal invite by Sean Duffy to go to the Kennedy Space Center. Lovely. Well, 48 hours ago, we have a global alert. NASA just activated the worldwide Cosmic Defense Network. Comet 3I Atlas is approaching Earth dangerously. La NASA activa la red mundial, blah, blah, blah. This is supposedly a new image of the 3I Atlas. And we have this. This is 2 hours ago. Here's the physicist Avi Loeb revealing why 3I Atlas comet may actually be hostile alien object coming our way. Lindsey Granger is freaked out.
The response that you're... Now, Avi, I'm not going to lie. I was a little bit freaked out when I first read this news. I'm like, 3AI, what's a 3I Atlas? But now that I want to understand, people could see you and know that you are a smart man. We're not talking about somebody on X who just pointed out some random conspiracy theory. You're teaching at Harvard. Explain why you're not getting the response that you're looking for from professionals and other leaders like NASA team to really look into this. What's the issue?
Yeah, the issue is that scientists, and that's completely justified, very often are attracted to the most likely explanation. That's what establishes them as experts. Experts are relying on past knowledge. But here we have a blind date with an interstellar visitor, and it's a blind date of a type that we've never had before. So relying on past knowledge is not a good practice. But more importantly, usually, if you look at an exploding star at the edge of the universe, it has no implications for society. So it's better not to take risks and say, oh, that's an exploding star of a type that we understand. However, in a case where you have a visitor to your backyard, the visitor might enter through your front door. That's a situation where there is an important threat to humanity, and therefore even low probability events have to be taken seriously. That's something that the scientific community, including NASA, does not necessarily understand. Now, NASA does understand the fact that there could be rocks that come close to Earth, and we know that the dinosaurs were killed 66 million years ago by a giant rock the size of Manhattan Island. We know that, and therefore NASA has a plan to discover near-Earth objects that could pose a threat to us if they are rocks. But NASA did not think as of yet about the possibility that an object which has some technology in it might be in the sky, even though NASA itself launched a lot of technological objects into the sky. And I'm just saying NASA is not the most accomplished space agency in the Milky Way galaxy since the Big Bang, 13.8 billion years ago. We better recognize that. It would be arrogant to claim that NASA is the only agency polluting space.
Now, Avi, I'm not going to lie.
Of course, you have to believe in the Big Bang and that dinosaurs were killed by an asteroid. 3i Atlas just got bluer than the sun. This is 4 hours ago. As it hit perihelion on October 29th, the interstellar object suddenly flared, brightening faster than any Oort cloud comet ever recorded. New data from Stereo Soho show it glowing an eerie blue during a time it's supposed to be hidden behind the sun. Harvard's Avi Loeb confirms the reason for 3i Atlas' rapid brightening remains unclear. Multiple spacecraft in perfect alignment caught it, while Earth's view was completely blocked. Coincidence or something else? So here are some of the images that were captured October 18th through the 24th. You can see it appears to be that little circle object right there. See if we can get a better shot for you. September 11th through the 26th. At the top. September 28th through October 2nd. Quite a bright object. Now, I'm no scientist, but this stuff definitely has me intrigued. 10 hours ago, we have this. Comet 3i Atlas is currently making its closest approach to the sun. ESA JUICE might catch the best view of this comet in a very active state. JUICE will attempt observation in November 2025 with data received on Earth in February of 26. Orbital Insights writes, just saw the real-time tracker for interstellar comet 3i Atlas. It reaches its closest point to the sun, perihelion, today. This rogue visitor from another star system is literally blazing through our backyard. Astronomers are watching for clues about its composition. Nickel vapor detected already is a huge surprise. What do you think? Interstellar comet 3i Atlas could be turning bright green. Surprising new photos reveal. October 21st, 3i Atlas appeared in space. Scientists baffled as new data shows the object emitting unusual energy signals. Is it a comet or something far more advanced? And there you can see where it is tracking directly through our solar system. There is a shot of it. Unbelievable that they can get these videos. Two of the world's top physicists are sounding the alarm on 3i Atlas. Avi Loeb may not be a comet at all, he says. We could be looking at alien technology performing a deliberate maneuver as it slingshots around the sun. Dr. Michio Kaku says it's an intelligent visitor from another solar system. If it picks up extra energy after the flyby, that will clinch it. Meanwhile, NASA remains silent, but insiders say it has quietly activated Earth defense systems never before acknowledged publicly.
To the sun on October 29th, 2025, I got a text message the other day from someone who said that he is trading options on the volatility of the market with an expiration date of October 29th in order to make money. And I immediately thought that I don't know if there will be meaning to money if this object turns out to be technological after October 29th. If you want to take a vacation, take it before that date, because who knows what will happen to the sun on
from another solar system. Perhaps this is a visitor, an intelligent visitor from another solar system, and perhaps this week we could have a test of it. That's right. This week, it turns out that the asteroid or comet will be whizzing around our sun, and if it picks up extra energy on its flyby, that would
clinch it. And what else have we got here? Okay, panic mode is setting in. 48 hours ago, 3i Atlas should have exploded with the massive heat if it was a comet made of rock and ice, but it did not.
Fury. Right now, I'm sitting in the lab watching something that should not exist. For 40 years, I've studied the sun, its flares, its storms, its fury. But what 3i Atlas just did has left even the most experienced solar physicists went speechless. Yesterday, at precisely 2 p.m. UTC, the sun unleashed an M-class solar flare, the kind of eruption that can knock out satellites and cause auroras across half the planet. Every spacecraft near the inner solar system recorded the blast. But one signal stood out. It came from 3i Atlas. Instead of flaring brighter or breaking apart, the object dimmed. For a full 12 minutes after the flare struck it, Atlas's optical brightness dropped by 40%. When the light returned, the infrared emission had risen far above normal. Something inside it had absorbed the solar energy, not reflected it, not scattered it, absorbed it. NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory confirmed the numbers. They expected a violent reaction, gas, jets, plasma tails, fragmentation. Instead, there was stillness. The flare hit, the object darkened, then glowed faintly from within, like metal heated from the inside. That was the first sign that this isn't a natural comet. Nothing made of ice and dust can survive that amount of solar radiation without vaporizing. Even solid iron would have melted. But Atlas didn't melt. It fed. The Webb telescope team ran spectral analysis immediately after the event. The data looked wrong. Every emission line had shifted toward higher frequencies, as if the atoms themselves were vibrating faster. One scientist said quietly, "It looks like it charged itself." And that's exactly what the math shows. The total energy absorbed during the flare was equal to roughly 4 terajoules, enough to power the entire United States for several minutes. And yet, Atlas emitted almost nothing back. No radiation spike, no particle jets. It took in energy and stored it somewhere deep inside. I've seen many theories proposed in the past 24 hours. Some believe the object uses the sun as a power source, drawing plasma through electromagnetic funnels invisible to our eyes. Others think it's using a kind of quantum capacitor, a material that traps energy between atomic layers.
Okay. I don't know about you, but that kind of felt like AI to me. That felt, oh yes, look at that. Readers added context. The video is AI generated. What the hell? Using deepfake techniques to mimic his likeness and voice. What the hell? What the hell? I just spent 3 minutes on that. I mean, it was fascinating, but I had this gut feeling, man. What the hell, man? You never know what the hell's real anymore. Three-eye atlas over Moscow. A strange green visitor appears. This is 2 days ago, 48 hours. Comet 3-eye atlas reaches its closest point to the sun October 28th and 29th, then becomes visible from Moscow October 30th through November 17th as a faint green glow in the evening sky. Here we have this. This is from 23 hours ago. Breaking space news. 3-1 Atlas survives perihelion interstellar comet ACE's Day of Truth with 0 anomalies. The interstellar visitor, 3-eye Atlas, the most hyped cosmic object of the year, has officially passed perihelion today at 11:33 UTC. The result is decisive. No maneuvers, no course corrections, no breakups, no alien thrusting, no drama. Despite months of speculation, conspiracy theories, and doomsday claims, 3-eye Atlas behaved exactly like a natural interstellar comet following its predicted hyperbolic trajectory at a blistering peak speed of 68.3 kilometers a second. Perihelion confirmed trajectory holds perfectly. JPL Horizons, the Minor Planet Center, and over 200 telescopes worldwide, including MRO, SOHO, and Parker Solar Probe, fed real-time tracking data confirming no non-gravitational acceleration, no structural changes or fragmentation, no deviation from predicted orbit. A widely shared amateur telescope screenshot posted by Drew for World Ruler captured 1 hour, 49 minutes before perihelion, showing 3-eye Atlas precisely where the ephemeris predicted. Magnitude 14.7 in Virgo, faint but visible through 8 to 12 telescopes. 8 to 12 inch telescopes. Chemical oddities persist, but not alien. So that's what he's saying. So what is it, guys? Tomorrow could change everything. This is the acid test. Well, it appears, according to this post, they failed the acid test. Avi Loeb revealed on Joe Rogan's podcast that NASA secretly took images of 3-eye Atlas near Mars and never made them public.
What is scattering sunlight? Seeing here is the glow of light around the object from scattering sunlight. And the question is, what is producing that light? You know, what is scattering sunlight? And the unusual thing about it, as soon as this was released, the comet experts said, oh yeah, now it's proven it's a comet. No, but I said, look, it's the sun facing emission that is elongated. It's not the other side. The extent of the glow backwards, away from the sun, is the same as sideways. You don't see any cometary tail here.
Right.
And in fact, we're looking at it just like a cigar along the long axis. So it should be 10 times longer than it is wide if you were to look at it from the side. Amazingly, the best image was obtained on October 2nd, 2025, when 3-eye Atlas came within 30 million kilometers of Mars. And it was taken by the high-rise camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which is operated by NASA. As you remember, October 1st was the government shutdown. So October 2nd, the data was taken, but it was never released. I wrote to the principal investigator of high-rise, asked, can I get the data? I'm a scientist. You can do the press release afterwards. I would like to see it.
Right.
No response. And so it's already 3 weeks. Seeing here is the glow of light around.
So if you got value for this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. Here's what we know for sure. Something strange is happening up there. 3-eye Atlas, defying physics, absorbing energy, has top scientists scrambling for explanations. Could it be an undiscovered natural phenomenon? Maybe. But when Harvard and MIT physicists start whispering alien technology, even skeptics like me pay attention. The fact that NASA won't release those Mars images makes it worse. And add in the convenient timing with nuclear tensions and global chaos, and you've got questions demanding answers. Now, look, I don't buy every UFO story, but this isn't some grainy video from a drunk farmer. This is documented, measurable, and unexplainable. So here's my question for the comments section. Are we witnessing first contact or just unusual space weather? Drop a yes for aliens and no for natural. Sound off below, because whether it's aliens or not, The government's hiding something. You can support real journalism at our merch shop. Keep watching the skies, Patriots. All right, you guys are coming in hot tonight. $159.97. So we blew past our target of $100. $160. Thank you guys so much. So I want to make a quick note about tomorrow. There will not be a show. It is Halloween. The kids are out of school. And I am going to smoke a brisket. Oh, yes, I just picked it up this morning. 17.5-pound, beautifully trimmed brisket. Going to put that on the smoker, let that smoke for about 12 hours. And then have some family over. My son's birthday is this weekend. And so we got a big weekend plan. And of course, Halloween is tomorrow. We're going to pull out the DeLorean and have some fun with that. So I want you guys all to have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back on Monday. But what we've witnessed so far tonight, 4 stories that define America at the crossroads. Each one alone would dominate headlines for weeks. Well, they together paint a picture of a nation under siege from within and watched from above. The Democrat shutdown isn't just politics anymore, it's economic warfare. 30 days of empty shelves, grounded flights, and starving families. Chuck Schumer and his cronies voted 14 times to continue your suffering. They'd rather see America collapse than see Trump succeed. Food banks turning away mothers with children, airlines warning of catastrophic failures, air traffic controllers working without pay while Democrats play politics with your lives. This is what happens when hatred for one man exceeds love for country. In Chicago, Halloween's become a potential horror show of obstruction. Pritzker begging ICE to stand down for trick-or-treaters while leaked war documents suggest citizens are organizing to track and obstruct federal agents. Those emails expose what appears to be a coordinated network. Encrypted chats, safe houses, crossing guards with whistles. Whether Pritzker is directing this or just conveniently looking away while his city organizes against federal law, every name on those spreadsheets is potential evidence. Every signal message could be proof of conspiracy. The question is how deep this goes and whether justice still exists in Illinois. Then Trump reminded the world why America leads. 33 years of nuclear silence shattered with one signature. While Putin tests doomsday torpedoes and Z races to catch up, our president sent 12 B-52s roaring into the sky. This is not provocation, it's peace through strength. The same cowards calling it dangerous are the ones who let our enemies advance unchecked for decades. Trump is not starting an arms race, he's ending it by winning it. Above it all, something green and impossible streaks through our solar system. 3I Atlas should be space dust, instead absorbing energy, defying physics, and has NASA activating protocols they won't acknowledge. Harvard scientists whispering about alien technology, MIT physicists can't explain what they're seeing. Now, I am a skeptic, but when the brightest minds on Earth say, we don't know, maybe it's time to consider maybe we're not alone. 4 crises, one message. Whether it's Democrats destroying us from within, Chicago wars potentially betraying federal law, presidents rebuilding our strength, or visitors from beyond. The establishment wants you confused and scared and silent. But we're here to break it all down and try to make sense of it. So thank you to everybody who sent in super chats and rumble rants tonight. You help us reach our goal, $159.97. You guys speak out when others won't. Your support fuels this fight for transparency. So keep telling your friends about the Raw Feed, hit our merch shop, and wear your resistance, because tomorrow these stories will evolve, the truth will emerge, and of course, we will continue exposing every single lie they tell. Whether it's Schumer's shutdown, Chicago's suspected obstruction, Trump's strength, or cosmic mysteries, we're watching, reporting, and holding them all accountable. This is Gary Franchuk for the Raw Feed. Stay vigilant, Patriots, and we'll see you on Monday.